was my buddy.
Sweet dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I used to take care of him quite a bit. Drop him off the house. Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. This is December 8th of 2022. We have a statement that is still required for us to state, a script rather, and I apologize to everybody who's heard this ad nauseum, but here it goes. My name is Steve DeYoung, Chairman of Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. We will now convene the December 8th meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals as required by General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 18 through 25, and pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, entitled An Act Relative to Extending Certain COVID-19 Measures Adopted During the State of Emergency. The public are able to attend this meeting either in person or via the alternative public access. Members of the public may watch the meeting live on Channel 18 or watch and or participate in the meeting hosted on the Zoom platform. The meeting notice provides necessary instructions on how to join the meeting via Zoom. Please note that audio and video will not be available to you until such time as you are recognized by the chair, and so that those functions will be disabled. You may, however, request to participate by using the raise hand function once we get off of people that are here and then to people that may be in Zoom. So having said that, however, we're going to invite someone into Zoom from Zoom right now. Is that correct? Okay. So we're going to invite Mr. Tardif in. He's presenting the first petition. Excuse me. That petition is 4989, that of John and Erin Moynihan of 61 Eldridge Road in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. That property is in a zoning district R25. The applicants seek a special permit pursuant to 104.3.2, subparagraph 2, to increase the ridge height of a pre-existing non-conforming structure to 28 feet, or in the alternative, a variance from under 203.5 for side setback relief. Good evening, Mr. Tardif. You're there and you should be visible, please. Can we invite him in?
Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
We can hear you, yeah.
All right. I'm not, oh, hold on.
We don't have visual on you. Did we lose him? Oh, there he
Nope,
is.
I'm here. Hey,
Hi, Mr. Tardif. Now you look familiar.
this is a strange situation. I imagine that my client is sitting at the table. It's Mr. Moynihan, along with Pat Muldoon, his builder. I assume they're there.
They are?
They are, and they're
Ah,
fine.
there you go.
They
What's up,
said
Jack?
they like it better when you're on Zoom.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, this is a first. I've never been in this situation with them there, and I'm here, but circumstances put it that way. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, please
as
go
you
forward and
indicated-
identify yourself for everybody at home.
Sure. My name is Paul Tardif. I'm an attorney in Yarmouthport, and I do represent John and Erin Moynihan, the owners of the property. It's located at 61 Eldridge Road. It's also known as 63 Eldridge Road, but and I think that's the proper address now because the DPW did change that to make that consistent. So the decision, if there's any, would probably reference both. But so this is a very interesting situation, Mr. Chairman. The property here is in an R25 zoning district, currently improved with a 1.5-story single-family home, originally built in 1952. The property also has a shed and a raised septic leaching field located in the rear of the property. The lot's about 9,000 square feet, 60 feet of frontage on Eldridge Road. The Moynihans bought the property back in 2005, and at which time it only consisted of a 30 by 24 foot Cape-style home with one floor. That structure meets the front, the right side, and the rear setbacks, but it encroaches into the left side setback by about 6.5 feet, specifically 8.6 feet from that boundary. The Moynihans in 2012 then decided they wanted to have a little bit more room, so they got a building permit to build a 300 square feet addition to the right rear of the house to allow more space for a family room and a kitchen expansion. And that was by right because it didn't encroach into any setbacks. In 2021, then they went and they got another building permit to construct a one-story, 12 by 17-foot addition to the house, but this was going to be on the left side, where the property actually encroaches. But because they were going to hold that line and remain 8.6 feet from that boundary, they were given a building permit, and the work was done. After the addition was constructed, but before almost constructed, the petitioners had their floors sanded, and all the sawdust from the sander was placed outside against the house in a bag. And overnight, that sawdust and the chemicals combusted, and it caused a house fire, and it caused substantial damage to the house. So at that point, the petitioners applied for 2 more permits, one for a demolition permit, which was granted, and then there was some damage done to the main house, and they realized, well, maybe this is the time, if we're going to have to rebuild this, we might as well put a second floor on, unfinished, but for later use. And so a building permit was again issued in August of 2022, and construction commenced. They had about 90% of the work done, and someone from the building department notified them in October, actually, that they would need relief because the height of the structure sitting in the side setback was going up from its present, I think we said, to 28 feet. So this application was filed. I think Mr. Muldoon did a good job. And that's the reason for the requested relief tonight. So we are going from 16 and a half feet up to 28. The second floor is unfinished, and it's going to remain that way until the Moynahans decide to add that space to the house. But it's always going to remain as a one single family dwelling. The lot coverage is well under the 25%. It's sitting at 14 and a half now. And if you look at the plans, the second floor, which faces south, which is the neighbor who's most affected by this, it's been designed with only one window on that side of the house on the second floor. So there's a lot of privacy that went into that design, and also there's a number of trees, and vegetation. So it's going to offer a lot of privacy to that neighbor to the south. This board can issue a special permit if it determines that the structure that is now almost complete is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than is what's there now. That simple oversight on the building department is what brings us here today. The house is attractive. I don't think it's going to be detrimental to the neighborhood. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chairman, I think you have another hearing tonight for a house right down the street for the exact same problem. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think I saw that. So it's just an indication of where this neighborhood is going, like the rest of Yarmouth. So I think it's going to be an advantage to the neighborhood. The property, this proposal actually was already before the Conservation Commission, and that was approved as well. So I believe this is a special permit. I think it was asked, the relief requested was a special permit and/or a variance. I think it's a special permit under 104.3.22. So for those reasons, we hope that you can see to allowing the structure that's almost built to remain. If you have any questions, we hopefully can answer those for you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Let's start with you, John. Any questions of Mr. Tardif?
Not really. No, I was down there. I saw the home. It looks nice. It's definitely not detrimental to the neighborhood. So, I think it looks great.
Thank you.
And you, Mr. Igo?
I don't have any questions. I think it was explained very well by Attorney Tardif. I would agree with John. I think it's a beautiful home that you put there. Tastefully done, gonna look great. As I'm sure, I believe the house down the street will probably look pretty good too, because it looks very similar to this one. Are you the same builder in the next one? You are? Yeah, okay. Well, I could see why you'd want to build something similar. It's a gorgeous house. That's all I have. Thank you.
Makes ordering wood easier, huh? Frapery?
I agree, it's a very nice-looking house. I did have a couple questions. On the plot plan, it says the existing ridge height is 28 feet. And that's what you're looking to go to, is that correct? Is there a change?
It's already built.
Already built.
Well, I understand that, but was the old existing height 28 feet also, or did you raised it up?
We raised it up.
Just saying
It was,
current.
yeah, it was hard for the surveyor to have accurate measurements
Okay.
for the existing.
So this is the new
Correct.
height? Okay. That was my first thing. And then it also looked like there's a little bit setback on the roof, but I guess that doesn't matter if that's the height. I thought maybe the dormer was, all it was new was the dormers, but it's not just the dormers, it's also the roof height has gone up.
Right, right. We had to take the whole roof off due to the fire damage, fire and smoke.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Mr. Martin?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. It's obvious what's being done here. I think it's a good addition to the neighborhood. Apparently, none of the neighbors have any issue with it, from what I understand, or at least what we see here. No, I think it's a nice addition, and it's only because you're going a little higher, and still not higher than many of the other houses in the neighborhood, so why not?
I have very few questions. I will start with one, though. Why do I have two exact same applications for relief?
In case you lost one,
Huh?
in case you misplaced one.
No, they're exactly the same. I don't know.
Mr. Chair, they're required to provide two originals.
Okay. All right, so, look, it's a very tastefully done home. It's very much in keeping with Cape Cod. It's very much in keeping with that neighborhood. I see no undue nuisance or no congestion or undue nuisance or, what's the other word I'm looking for?
Hazard.
To the neighborhood. Gee, I'm sorry, I just had must be a long day for me, I apologize. I just see the criteria of the special permit being met in each instance, and that it's nothing but an addition to this neighborhood, and also to the tax base in the town of Yarmouth. And you know we love that, right, when we get people to pay more taxes. Does anyone in our audience care to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please come to the microphone, let's hear what you have to say. Seeing none, does anybody in our audience care to speak in opposition to this petition? If so, please come to the microphone and let us hear what you have to say. And seeing none, we now close it to the public's input on the petition, and we open it up to board discussion and deliberations. Dick?
I don't think I have anything else to add. I think it meets the criteria that we need to look at to give relief, and I think it's a nice addition to the neighborhood, and it's not encroaching anymore in terms of the sidelines and what's there now. We're just talking about a little height difference, and that's it.
Okay, how about you, Jay?
I concur with Dick. I have nothing else to add.
Well said. Mr. Igo?
I agree with what the others have said. I think it's going to fit very nicely in the neighborhood. It's tastefully done. I think it's a good example of what redevelopment should look like on those lots, and especially down in that neighborhood. I think we're going to see something very similar in one of the other petitions that we'll consider tonight, but I do agree that I think they meet the criteria of the bylaw, and I will support it. Thank you.
John?
I'd agree with everyone else, and I don't have anything to add.
The only thing I'm going to add is I think it's by special permit that you need relief here. Historically, we've always done side setback relief by special permit, but I understand your request for either or. However, we will, if we vote affirmatively on the special permit, then ask you to withdraw the request for variance relief, that withdrawal to be without prejudice. And is that agreeable to everybody? Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Tardif, if he shakes his head, that means he's in agreement.
By me.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we
Please.
approve the special permit as requested without conditions.
I'll second.
Thank you. Does the board care to have any discussion before moving it along to a vote? I guess it's still by roll call. So John,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Jay,
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so therefore it passes. Mr. Tardif is wonderful about drafting up proposed orders, and he will do that, I'm sure, in this instance. Send it to us, we'll approve it. It gets filed with the town clerk's office. 20 days must elapse from that filing in order for it to be considered a granted special permit. When those 20 days elapse, you'll take the granted permit, go down to the Barnstable Registry of Deeds, and record it, and return proof of recordation back to us, okay? This lovely lady to my right is going to give you all the instructions you need.
Great.
And she's a pro at it, so, good luck.
Mr.
Happy,
Chairman,
oh, wait a minute, we gotta get rid of the variance, yeah.
Request to allow them to withdraw the variance relief without prejudice.
Second.
So we have, any discussion? Hearing none. Dick?
Aye.
Jay?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So that's withdrawn without prejudice, okay? And Mr. Tardif will explain all that to anybody that's of interest.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, we're gonna take that out of order, yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
one quick question. It's a little harder when you're online. I know Mr. Igo made the motion. Who seconded it? Was Mr. Frapery?
Mr. Martin.
Mr. Manzoni.
No, it was Mr. Igo and Mr. Mantoni.
Mantoni.
Oh, man, okay. Couldn't hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See, he's gonna draft a decision. He wants to know who the hell it was that said these things. All right. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you. You can
Chairman,
now
board
get up
members,
and go.
thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Greatly appreciated.
Keep them here.
Yeah, we're gonna know. Mr. Jacobs, you're gonna stay, right?
Yep.
I'm good here, okay?
Because you got another one, and that is 4988. And since you're there at the table already, for brevity, well, you're gonna get you right on that, okay?
I appreciate that, thank you.
Sure. Why don't you tell us all about your request?
All right, I will not be able to enlighten you as much as Mr. Tardif did. That was quite the presentation. But we're looking to do the same thing.
He's eloquent, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. So we're looking to do the same thing. We're looking to raise the roof. It's basically 2 houses down from 63 now, so it's 67. Raising the ridge height to 28 feet, just as 63. The front of it is a little different. It's going to be kind of a Nantucket dormer kind of style with the 2 dog houses and the shed in the front. And, pretty much the setbacks are the same, just as 63. I mean, they're almost identical houses. Whoever built the property, or the neighborhood, kind of did the same thing. They went right down and no cookie cutters. But, yeah, so we're looking for relief. I'm sorry, a special permit, the 104.3.2-2, and not the variance, the 203.5.
No, we understand you're encouraged to file it with both requests, and that's fine. So, we're going to now ask Mr. Igo if he has any questions, and we'll move around a little different tonight.
I don't. It's very similar to the last petition. I see the plot plan, your setbacks, what you're trying to do. I will probably have similar comments later that I had on the previous petition, but I have no questions. Thank you.
John?
Yeah, no questions. I mean, it's pretty,
Jay?
No questions.
It's going to be a fast meeting. We can see the football game tonight. Mr. Martin?
Ditto. It's a little 5.5 feet. It's too bad it wasn't at least built the 6 feet that was required when they built the original house, but so be it.
I think the last one was 5.5 too. I think.
No, it was
A
8.6.
little more,
Oh,
yeah.
was it? Oh, okay. I thought it was the same.
Hope the house next door isn't quite that close.
Was that it? Dick, or-
That's all, yeah, I don't have any,
Okay, I want to understand, the finished ridge height will be what?
28 feet,
28?
28, yep. And the current height now is 22.7.
And it's to add living space as the second floor, is that right?
Correct, yep.
Yeah, there's a big debate about, is this an extension of a non-conforming use or not? I've always taken, I think the board, most of these board members have usually sided with the idea that it's by special permit that we grant this, because it's not changing or adding any nonconformity, say, for height. And that's, then go as high as you can go, as long as they're not more than 35 feet. We're pretty good about that. I have no other questions. Does anybody in our audience care to ask the petitioner's representative any questions or to say anything in favor of this petition? Seeing none. Does anybody in our audience care to speak in opposition to the petition? Seeing none. We now close it to the public input on the petition, and we open it up to board discussions, deliberations. We're going to go in the exact same order. We're going to really change it up tonight. Mr. Igo?
As I indicated on the last one, I think it's very tastefully done. I think it's a good example of redevelopment in this neighborhood, in the size, style, and scope of the house. I do think they meet the criteria under 104.3.2. It's not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. And for those reasons, I am supporting this petition, and I would urge the board to support it as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. John?
I'd agree with Mr. Igo and don't have anything further to add.
Good. Jay?
I concur.
All right. Everybody's in a hurry. And Jay, and now Dick, how about you?
ditto.
Yeah, the lots are 25,000 square feet out there about, and this, even if you, huh?
The zoning is, these lots are less than that.
Oh, I thought the lot measured just over 25,000
No,
square
it's
feet.
only 80, just under 9,000.
8 to 9,000 feet.
Oh, 9,000?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, why in the world was I looking at 25,000? Wow.
25 million district.
Yeah, no, but I thought there was a 25,000 something. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna argue about it, because I made a mistake. But, I mean, it'd be awful hard to put any size house on there without encroaching into any reasonably sized home without encroaching into a side yard setback, so. There is one piece of correspondence, and it's from Jay Brazo, your neighbor,
He's actually the owner,
or the owner?
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have to use him for anything. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. There's where I'm getting it from. See? Here's where I got it from. I thought those were lots with various houses and with the square footage of.
The assessors, that's assessors.
All right. No questions, and very supportive of it. So let's see if we can have a vote on it. Somebody prepared to make a motion?
I'll move to approve petition 4988 as requested,
Without condition, Dick?
without any conditions.
Okay.
Second.
You understand that if this is voted affirmatively, we're going to ask you to request the withdrawal of the variance
That was
without
to approve the
prejudice.
special
right?
permit.
Yes, correct, yep.
All right, so on the motion made, do we need any discussion? Hearing none. Let's start with you, John.
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Jay?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. It sounds like Southern Justice, right? You're guilty. Good to see you. The decision will be drafted, it'll be filed with the town clerk's office, and once that happens, 20 days must elapse. That's a technical waiting period. If nobody appeals from our decision, then that will be considered a granted relief of a special permit, and you'll be requested to take it to the to the registry of deeds and record it and return proof of recordation. on the request for a variance.
Move to allow the petitioner to withdraw the request for variance without prejudice.
Second.
Sorry, I can only write so fast these days. On that motion, again, the same order, please, John?
Aye.
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
And Jay? Dick? Yeah, and I'm an aye, so that's unanimous, and we'll see you later. Nice talking with you. So good luck
Thank
with the construction.
Everyone have a great night. Thank you.
All right, so, our next matter, they were so generous and kind. This is concerning special permit 4927, and your generosity was in allowing us to take you out of, other matters out of order, and thank you for that. This is the matter of Fabian Evangelista Lima Paiva? 83A Lewis Road, West Yarmouth, Massachusetts. This property is in an R25 zoning district. This matter was before us about a year ago, and a little less than a year ago. And we asked for a one-year review, and why don't you tell us how things are going out there and what's happening and all that sort of thing? Any problems?
É, translation. Não, tá tudo certo. Eu tô seguindo o
Maybe I can help you. Let me ask some questions of you, okay?
Yeah.
Have the police been called out there for any disturbance?
A polícia foi chamada por algum problema? Não.
Have there been any emergencies concerning any of the children?
Alguma emergência das crianças?
Não.
And how if my memory is correct, did we do this by Zoom?
Você fez
No.
isso por Zoom?
No, that was in person?
Não, não.
Was in
Okay.
person.
I- How's the parking working out?
O estacionamento, como é que tá funcionando?
De 15 minutos, às vezes de 40 a 40, que as crianças chegam um pouco mais tarde.
They have a different time for to pick up and drop off, so
So it's staggered?
Do not get busy there. And
Okay,
she has
great.
2 parking, so the parents can go stop and different time.
Great. Does anybody on the board have any questions of our petitioner?
I
You
don't
know-
think so. This is just a review to make sure that there hasn't been any issues there, and apparently there haven't been any issues there, right?
I remember going, and the only question, I think the biggest thing was the parking.
Yeah.
How that would work out, and it sounds like they've worked that out timing-wise.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's wonderful that we have daycare providers, and thank you very much for doing that. Does anybody on our board think there's a need for another review of this in the future?
No.
Or can we just say that we're satisfied with this review, and you don't have to come back? Is that agreeable with everybody?
Yes.
And I don't even think that takes a vote, quite frankly. It's a one-year review, you've satisfied the condition, we thank you, but you're always free to come back and say hi if you'd like.
Right. Thank you so much.
Sure, it's the highlight of your life, or your night, anyway. All right, the next petition is 4987, that of Kyle and Christine Wiley of 15 Railroad Avenue in Yarmouthport. That property is in a zoning district R40. The applicant this evening seeks a special permit pursuant to 104.3.2, subparagraph 2, to raise and replace a detached garage, increasing the height of a pre-existing non-conforming structure to 29 feet, 9 1/2 inches. And who is that gentleman that is presenting this evening?
You knew me in my former life. But now I'm just an architect representing a project in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. How are
Always
y'all
good
doing?
to see you. Why don't you tell us all about your
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. My name is Eric Tolley from ERT Architects. With me tonight is Mr. Kyle Wiley, the property owner. As you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, we are seeking a special permit under 104.3.2.2 to raise an existing 18 by 20 garage of approximately 12 feet in height and replace in the exact 20 by 18 footprint with a new garage of approximately 21 feet 9 inches. So I think when, in your opening, Mr. Chairman, you had said 29 feet. I just want to clarify, it's 21 feet 9 inches, not 29 feet. So that's it. We do not think that this will, the increase in height, we're not increasing the footprint at all, nor are we increasing either of the two pre-existing non-conforming setbacks. But we hope that you will agree that the modest increase in height will not be a detriment to the neighborhood. And with that, I will conclude my presentation. If you have questions for either myself or Mr. Wiley, we'd be happy to entertain those.
Thank you. Succinct and well said.
Thank you.
John, any questions of our petitioner?
Any opposition from the neighbors? We haven't seen any, but have you, no?
I haven't received that.
Just,
The houses to the north and the south are pretty far away. You know, this happens to be a small lot in between what looks like two larger lots. So there are, you know, there is quite a bit of distance to the north and the south as well. There is a very heavy vegetated buffer to the west, and houses pretty far off to the northwest and southwest, but nobody directly behind. So we don't feel like any of the neighbors would be,
the only reason I ask, it's so close to the lot line, you know what I mean? It's, but I was in the neighborhood, and there's plenty of garages, you know, of similar size, so it's not like it would be, you know, out of character for the neighborhood, but I don't have anything else there. Ask. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
I really don't have any questions, comments. I am familiar with the property. I drive by it frequently. I think this will be a fantastic addition. I think it's certainly keeping with the character of the neighborhood. I love the design. In terms of it being close to the lot line, I think historically, when you get into these neighborhoods, you find a lot of properties built close to their lot lines, in any of your historic districts. But I certainly don't have a problem with it. I plan on supporting it, and I do think they meet the criteria of the bylaw as well. So I would recommend the board support it as well. Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
thank you. And Jay?
I really don't have any other questions either. I think it's a nice addition. It looks like it's gonna be an improvement to the neighborhood, so I really don't have anything else.
Dick?
Yeah, I was just commenting about the sideline setback of 1.9 feet is really close, and then to go higher. I think it might make sense, and I don't think you plan on using upstairs for any kind of living space, right? It's just going to be storage? Okay. Would you mind a restriction on that not become any living space?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Just because it's going so high, so close to the lot line. Not that it's that high, but it's relatively high compared to what's there now. That would be my only concern. I think it's in keeping and can meet the criteria, but I think I might like to see a contingency there that it is not living space.
I've got a couple. Why is it that it can't be, why is it that the side setback can't be reduced to some degree? You know, or extended in more into the yard? Is there something about the septic system that prohibits that, or the layout of a driveway, or anything like that?
It does align with the driveway, but to be perfectly candid, Mr. Chairman, there probably isn't a overwhelming reason. It just seemed to make sense that since we were replacing it with an existing structure with a new structure of exactly the same size, to keep it there, keep it lining up with the existing driveway so we don't have to reconfigure it.
Will the same slab be able to be used?
No, because while the house was built in 1900, we couldn't find a date for the garage, but I would suspect that there is probably
Old.
an adequate foundation or frost wall underneath it.
Gotcha. Well, you know, I don't remember, I think it was Sean that said he's been through this area, and there are many garages like this, and historically, we see it all over the Cape. You know, before zoning, these very small lots were built to the max, and yours is only 18.9% lot coverage, so that's pretty good. I have no qualms about it. I was just thinking that maybe we could reduce it a little, but I'm not sure a little would matter. What's a foot in and a foot, a foot on each side that's encroaching? It wouldn't do anything. You're still gonna be encroaching in a side yard. And with neighbors that being that far away, as you say, I don't think anybody's gonna be adversely impacted whatsoever. It certainly isn't gonna increase anything. How many plots do you have?
I've whittled down. I'm down to 3 now. 10. So.
Well, I wasn't suggesting anything about lobsters yet. I want you to know that. I was just, a buddy of mine is a lobster fisherman, and, you know, you go by his house and he's got 400 pots sitting out there.
Right, just recreational.
It's ridiculous. Well, anyway, no one is in our audience, so we know that no one is speaking in favor or in opposition to this petition, though we would gladly welcome them if they were here. And there being none, then we're gonna ask if someone's prepared to make a motion. And because you have no, you only have the one relief granted. Really wonderful. Someone who comes in with just one request.
I was not advised to put the variance condition in there, so.
I'll move petition 4987 as requested with the, but subject to the upstairs space defined as new storage that will not become habitable living space.
Second.
With the same condition there, Jay?
Yes.
Since you're not gonna draft the decision, Mr. Tully, it takes me a minute in my old age to write the notes down, okay?
I think Mr. Tardif said he might be willing to do it.
Well, when are you gonna get started on it? Right away?
Hopefully in the spring.
Oh, good, because it's getting cold out there.
I don't want to have to.
I don't think you could
work
pour
through the winter.
concrete now anyway, could you?
You can, but.
Yeah.
He signed off, so he wouldn't be able to do it, that's why.
So, we have a motion made with, on one condition that the upstairs of the garage facility not be used for anything other than storage, well, in any event that it not be habitable space, okay? So on that motion so made, for the grant of a special permit, with the understanding that this will cause no undue hazard, nuisance, nor congestion, and will be in character with the existing and future neighborhood and life. Oops. Sorry, the market just dropped, and Jay's got to make some changes to his portfolio.
He's got to call his broker.
So anyway, on that, are we prepared to go to a vote, or does anybody want to have discussion? And hearing none. John?
Aye.
Jay? Sean?
Aye.
Jay?
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. That's a unanimous decision. We have to do it by roll call, thanks to the governor's continuing requirements. He's not going to be there after January, so maybe our new governor will change the rules. In any event, a decision will be drafted, it will be filed with the town clerk's office. 20 days must elapse. That's a technical waiting period, that we don't expect any of your neighbors or anybody to appeal. It'd have to be a party in interest in any event, and we don't expect that, I'm sure. And so 20 days do elapse, that then must go down to the Registry of Deeds, be recorded, and proof of its recordation being returned back to our fabulous, wonderful board administrator, this teenager sitting to my right.
Boy, he's
Okay.
really,
And,
really.
and she's gonna give you all the information, so you don't have to take notes,
Have you
okay?
bought his Christmas gift yet? Because
I gave him cookies, that's
We've
all.
already got cookies up here. Yeah, that's
Merry Christmas to everybody. Good to see you always, Mr. Tobey.
as well, thank you very much.
Have a great night. And do we have anything else on our agenda?
Minutes.
We have minutes,
You
Mr.
have
Chair.
minutes to approve, yeah.
Oh, I don't think I was here for these. Was I? Where are they? I'm so sorry.
Yes, you were. Minutes of November 10th. Move that we accept the minutes of November 10th, 2022.
Read them online, sure.
Second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That carries unanimously.
And there's also October 27th as well, continue.
Move that we accept the minutes of October 27th, 2022.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That carries unanimously. The minutes for those two meetings are accepted as a part of our permanent record. Thank you very much to each of you board members, and to you, Dolores, please, and your family. Have a wonderful and happy and safe Christmas, please, okay?
Thank you.
Everybody have a great holiday.
Thank you.
With that, we adjourn.
We're adjourned.
No meeting till January.